So, back here at the Prairie View Cricket Complex, we are into over number 9. Ujwala Vinakota, he saw a single conceded that time, bowling to Andreas House. He's 14 from 14 with 2 boundaries. Naman Anwar, who is now on strike, has 36 from 26 with 7 boundaries. And so we're off and running. Apologies for the few technical mishaps along the way, but we're looking forward to another 11 overs and 5 balls the rest of the way. Just to summarize where we are from the top here at the Houston Premier League 2024, the Austin Aces won the toss and inserted the Stars into bat. After a slow start, the Stars are appearing to generate some momentum toward what they think is going to be an imposing total. As of right now, scoring at the rate of 7.4 runs and over. That rate projects to around 149. But 9 wickets in hand and a very strong batting lineup, so one would think that the Stars would be aiming much higher than that. Ujwala Vinakota in again. Hammered, but straight to Ali Sheikh at backward point. Oh my goodness, that easily could have been 4 runs saved. Naman Anwar very strong on the cut, but Ali Sheikh, who is the best fielder on the field, is going to be right in position to cut that one off. And so he takes 4 runs away from his Dallas Mustangs teammate. Ujwala Vinakota actually bowling really well. Now into over number 9, his 3rd over. Bang, that goes all the way and over the top for 6. Sanjay Krishnamurthy sprinting away to his left, coming around from deep, let's call it cow corner, but not able to get anywhere near it. Naman Anwar saw a delivery that he liked and absolutely teed off. Very flat, didn't really get much elevation on it, but that strong wind coming from the southeast would have helped carry that one over the ropes. And so now Naman Anwar is now up to 42 from 29 balls with 7 fours and a 6. We're now 2 delivers remaining here in over number 9. I mentioned the run rate that we're looking at, 7.4, now up to 7.85. And once again, you're having 6 to 8 runs or 6 to 8 balls left in this innings and 9 wickets in hand. A score of 6 to 8 for 1 could get out of control very quickly here for the Austin Aces if they're not careful. Here's Vinakota again. Hammered and right through the man at extra cover. It will be 4 more. Oh, the captain, Ali Sheikh, would have wanted that one to have been fielded, but the fielder not able to get anything on it. It actually gets right through him, so he concedes a boundary from a ball that you might argue should have been a dot ball. That is not going to make captain feel any better about that one. In fact, I mentioned Sanjay Krishnamurthy. Also, Yashodan Mahajan is the fielder at extra cover, not able to cut that one off. Here's the next delivery. In the air, but wide of deep short third, and it will be 3 consecutive boundaries. Make that a 6 and 2 consecutive boundaries to close out over number 9. A very expensive over. 15 coming from that over. And it appears as though Naman Anwar, who is now off to the races, he's now up to exactly 50 from 31 balls faced with 9 fours and a 6. Good innings so far from Naman Anwar. At the end of 9, the score is 7-6 for 1. $76 for 1, and Naman Anwar, 50 runs to his name. Again, 31 balls faced, 9 fours and a 6. Andreas House, 14 from 14 with 2 fours. And a change in bowling from the highway end, as it is Mohamed Mohsin who will be bowling his leg spinners to Andreas Haus. Oh, plays this delicately. Didn't think that would have run away down the hill, but that's just a measure of how well timed that was. Just a good old-fashioned late cut. You expect big blows down the ground from Andreas Haus, but this one just opening the face and running it just fine off that fielder short third. That is Yashodan Mahajan, who can sometimes be in a situation where the ball follows you if you're not necessarily having the best day in the field with the ball. So boundary to start over number 10. And Andreas Haus paddles this around the corner for 4 more. So now runs are flowing at an absolutely torrential rate. The last 5 deliveries in this innings have gone 6, 4, 4, 4, 4. So the overall run rate is absolutely picking up. And I'll tell you, at this stage of the innings, you're looking at what is probably going to be a really big total unless the Austin Aces can pull things back. First of all, they need to break a partnership. This opening pair, well, the opening pair was already broken, but this pair, Naman Anwar and Andreas Haus, are really putting on a show. Here's the next delivery from Mohamed Mohsin. Tossed up and drilled right back to Mohsin. You see his reaction there. He will have been happy having stopped that ball. He'd probably saved 4 runs, but that will not make his right hand feel any better. In fact, it was his left hand, so maybe a good thing from his standpoint that that's not his bowling hand. But Andreas Haus and Naman Anwar, you get the sense, have evil intentions. Next delivery off the back foot. Should just be 1. No, they come back for a second. Good running. Throw coming into the non-striker's end, but this pair is really looking dangerous. Came together when the score was 35, so that partnership now worth 51 runs. And here's Mohsin again. Played off the back foot. This time it will just be a single. Mohamed Mohsin conceding 11 runs already from his first over. 1 ball remaining here in his first over. Over number 10, which is underway. Only 1 wicket down, so expect this pair to be much more adventurous from this point on as you're down to the last 61 balls in this innings. Dot ball closes things out here in over number 10. So good delivery to end, but still 11 runs coming from the over. At the end of 10, halfway through the first innings, Austin Aces, having put in the Stars to bat, are up against it. One feels the score is 87 for 1. So halfway through over make that inning number 1, Austin Aces inserting the Stars into bat. But the Stars have lost 1 wicket, and they've scored so far at the rate of 8.7 and over. So 87 runs on the board, and it is now going to be Harish Kakani who's coming back in to bowl his 3rd over, bowled 2 overs so far. 2 decent overs, bowling with the wind at his back. Bit of a different challenge now, though, because he'll be running into the wind and bowling to 2 batters who have, you will get the sense, full license Only one wicket has fallen, and so you're essentially able to play a lot more freely at this stage. Partnership well past 50. This pair came together when the score was 35, so 52 is that partnership. And whipped away into the deep. That is going to be Sanjay Krishnamurthy on the boundary. Does well enough to prevent this one from going away for a boundary. It's a good shot, solid strike from Andreas House. Sanjay Krishnamurthy in the deep, doing well enough to prevent that one from going in that direction. You have to be very careful here, though, bowling to Andreas House. He cannot be too short. Really, you can't be too short to either one of these two batters, but particularly, as I've said a couple of times already, with the wind blowing from this direction, anything hit in the air toward mid-wicket is going to be helped by the wind. Good start, 2 singles, so you're pulling things back just a touch. It's going to be important, though, to continue in that exact same fashion. You don't want to be too short, you don't want to be too full, and these two batters have the capability of hurting you if you miss either your line or your length. Harish Kakani, 2 overs already, none for 18. Can't bowl there. Exactly what I was referring to. Anytime you have that length that is in such a way that the batter can get underneath it, Andreas House does not need any invitations to play that shot. And not only was the length too short, the line was sprayed down the leg side. So if you really get any bat on that, it's going to go away for 6. And again, this opening, or this pair, I keep saying the opening pair because they opened together for the Dallas Mustangs. But this pair who is now at the wicket, effectively an opening pair because they know each other's games very well. They bat well together. And really, when they're both going strong, there's not a lot that you can do to prevent them from scoring quickly. But you do have to make them hit your good balls. Nothing loose. Slower delivery, played into the extra cover area. Mohamed Mohsen is there to prevent any runs. So good comeback. Took the pace off of that one, did Harish Kakani. And it's going to be up to him now to close this over out strongly. 2 balls still to come. And a lot of damage has already been done. That scoring rate now up to 8.9. That projects to a score of 178. So it's going to be really important for the Aces to restrict the scoring. Oh, tried to go big, didn't go exactly where he wanted it, but it doesn't matter. Fine leg is inside the circle, and it races away behind the square for yet another boundary. So runs again coming at a torrential rate. Already 12 from this over. 1 ball to go here in over number 11. The last 4 overs and 5 balls have gone for 53 runs. So that gives you a sense of how fast they're scoring. The Dallas Mustangs. Effectively the Dallas Mustangs. It's the Houston Stars, really. But Andreas House and his partner, Naman Anwar, there's a strike again into the gap. Yet another boundary. The last 5 overs have gone for 57 runs, 16 coming from over number 11. That brings up the 100, by the way. At the end of 11, the score is 103 for 1. Well, we're into over number 12, and that strike that you just saw was the third six from Naman Anwar. Make that the second six from Naman Anwar. And he is continuing along with his partner, Andreas Haus, to put some big runs on the board here. The Houston Stars, after that single, are now at 109, make that 110 runs. And Mohamed Mohsin into his second over, but I'll tell you that it's going to require something special to break this partnership and pull things back. Short, in the air, catchable, no. Just one couple of bounces before it gets down to long on. For a split second, I thought that might have carried to that fielder down at long on, but doesn't carry. All the same, a lot of runs already. Naman Anwar up to 58 from 36. Has played off the back foot. Backward point is there to prevent any run, so that's a good piece of fielding. Fielder backward point is Ujwal Vinakota. So last ball coming up here in over number 12. Big hit, and that goes all the way for 6. Ali Sheikh down there at the boundary, nowhere near that one. And that is yet another 6, closing out over number 12 with a 6. Half a dozen, if you will. 14 coming from that over with a couple of 6s. And all of a sudden, at the end of over number 12, the score is 117 for 1. Houston Stars are absolutely being murderous, and there's a lot of work for the Aces to do. Quick look at the batting card. You see Naman Anwar and Andreas Haus, the two at the wicket. One wicket is one wicket has already fallen. You see that second name from the top, Smith Patel. 7 runs to his name with a 6. But it is now the point that this pair is putting on a show. 117 runs on the board, and it's going to require an effort, a special effort to break this partnership. And so Ali Sheikh has gone back to his opening bowler, Imran Khan. His 2 overs already. Opened the bowling, 2 overs, none for 8. Starts with a full toss. Don't know that that's what he was trying to do, but effectively it was a good ball, because the only thing that Andreas Haus is able to do was get that one to Mohamed Mohsin at extra cover. Importantly, it's a dot ball. Watch his length, though, because anything that is too full will go the distance. That's struck. In fact, he's bowling absolutely full. He's attempting, it appears, to bowl 6 Yorkers. So the first 2 have gotten to Andreas Haus on the full. The second one played into the deep for a single. But I mentioned the wind. If he is able to elevate this ball coming from this direction, it will be very dangerous. The wind will be helping it. Down the ground, what a strike. Lands just inside the rope, just dead straight, but it is yet another boundary. This is Naman Anwar, who is now into, well, almost, he's approaching 70. 68 from 39 with 10 4s and 3 6s. And a lot of work to do here for the Austin Aces, because this partnership is now worth 87 runs for the second wicket. Unbroken, still going. And watch the length that he's bowling here. Goes big. This is catchable. A long run and taken. That is a good, well-judged catch in the deep. Success found by Imran Khan. And Naman Anwar looking to go big. Nothing to hold back for. You're getting close to the back end of the innings, so he's looking to clear the ropes. And that was there to be hit, but not exactly making good, clean contact with that one. And it is caught in the deep. Good sliding catch taken by the fielder coming off the ropes at long off. And so that is wicket number 2. Naman Anwar with an excellent inning, 68 from 41 balls, faced 10 4s and 3 6s. And with one ball, make that 2 balls remaining here in over number 13. The score is 122 for 2. So the new batter to the crease is Asadullah Khan. Naman Anwar lighting up the Prairie View cricket field with a brilliant innings. 6 to 8 from 41 balls, 10 fours and 3 sixes, strike rate of 170. But they're not done yet. You needed to break the partnership, so you'll absolutely be happy with that if you're the Austin Aces. But down to the last 44 balls. And Asadullah Khan, even though he's new to the crease, he does have license. Oh, what a delivery. That one pitched and bit, got extra bounce, and went past the outside edge. Lucky to drop his wrist that time, Asadullah Khan, and get that ball going by him. Good start with the ball. And so the reason you go back to your opening bowler is to get wickets, and that's what you've gotten here from Imran Khan. Here's the last ball of over number 13. Played into the extra cover area. So good comeback. Excellent comeback over by Imran Khan. Just 5 runs coming from it, and he took a wicket. So brilliant stuff from the left arm fast bowler. End of 13, the score is 122 for 2. Time for more left arm spin. Saw Ali Sheikh bowl earlier. Ali Sheikh bowl overs 6 and 8. And it's now Sanjay Krishnamurthy, another U21 player. Similar to Ali Sheikh in that regard. Also similar to him in that they're both left arm spinners. And he'll be bowling to Andreas Gauss. Very full, driven wide off mid-on. Fielder coming off the ropes. So single to start. A really good comeback here for the Austin Aces. The last 5 overs before over number 13 had gone for 63 runs. So they were going at more than 2 runs a ball. But just swept around the corner, in fact, no single there. So 63 runs coming from the last 5 overs before over number 13. But only 5 runs coming from over number 13. To include a wicket, and then 2 delivers into over number 14 here. They just got 2 runs. In fact, a single before that. Now 3 delivers into over number 14. Sanjay Krishnamurthy doing well. You expect the scoring rate to slow down when a wicket falls, but Sanjay Krishnamurthy looking to make sure that he continues to capitalize on a good start. And a good delivery again. Andreas Gauss is wanting to latch on to anything loose, but he has not yet gotten anything loose. Excellent bowling from Krishnamurthy. And here's his next delivery. Short outside off, and cut away beautifully for 4. That is a brilliant, brilliant shot. Did not try to overhit it, Andreas Gauss. Just playing off the back foot, getting it fine of that fielder at backward point. And the sweeper out on the offside had nowhere, or could get nowhere near that one. So good flourish here. So Andreas Gauss now up to 44. Looking to play off the back foot. In fact, that was I said Andreas House, my apologies. That was actually Asadullah Khan with that shot previously. So good shot for him to get a boundary, his first boundary, and then a single closes out over number 14. 8 runs coming from that over. Last 6 coming up, score is 130 for 2. One three zero. 14. So 14 overs up, score is 1-1-3. And it's Ali Sheikh with a double left arm spin attack coming back to bowl here now from the forest end. And once again, the wind is blowing in a direction that would help the big hits down the ground. So watch his length here, Ali Sheikh. Oh, lovely strike over extra cover. That's going to be 4. No, great stop in the deep. Oh, and then he has it loose. Lost the grip on it and loses it. Trickles over the rope at extra cover for 4. So he had it under control as Shashank Butaluru had it under control. Dove made the stop, but then in getting up and attempting to throw the ball back in, loses control and has it go over the ropes. He will be disappointed with that effort. Did the hard work to get to it, Butaluru, but not able to control it fully. So starting over number 15 with a boundary. There you see good evidence of Ali Sheikh's ability in the field. I've always spoken about it. Excellent, excellent fielder. And turns potentially a 4 into a dot. Next delivery. And that's going to be wide. Andreas House at the non-striker's end. Asadullah Khan wanting to be aggressive. You see him using the feet, trying to get to Ali Sheikh. And looking to play this one through the offside, thick under edge, so a dot ball here, but Ali Sheikh has to be very careful to watch his length. These deliveries that are pitching just short of a length is where he wants to be. Anything that is too full, big hit is there for the taking down the ground, and that is hammered straight down the ground, but just a single, as it's Ujwal Vinakota who is in position to stop that one. Good strike down the ground, but made a good sound off the bat, but only 1. So on balance, a decent over here for Ali Sheikh. He has to close out strongly with these next 2. We're down to the last 32 balls in the match. And still 8 wickets in hand. Watch Andreas House, very, very strong all around the field. And that's played into the offside. Should just be a single. Andreas House now up to 45 from 30 balls faced with 6 4s and a 6. Asadullah Khan 11 from 10 with 2 boundaries. In the air, catchable. Oh, didn't quite get all the way down to the fielder on the boundary, Shashank Butaluru. And captain may want to ask why he didn't commit himself more to going after that one. So 8 runs coming from the over. At the end of over number 15, last 5 coming up, 138 for 2. Sanjay Krishnamurthy in for his second over. Ooh, looking to break out the reverse sweep. Gets a thick under edge, racing away down the hill and going all the way for 4. So in fact, it did not get an under edge. It was actually signaled as byes by umpire McVin. Umpire from Dominica. That ball racing away down the hill. The reverse sweep maybe temporarily blinded the wicket keeper. He was not able to get sight of it. Naveen Reddy Kancharla. And so starting out here with 4 byes, that doesn't help the case any. This is now driven down to long on for a single. So 4 byes to start with. Been a few extras already in this innings. By my unofficial count, 10 extras in all. 5 or 6 of those, I believe, have been leg byes. Into the deep, Ali Sheikh down there at the boundary. So a couple of singles. Really 3 good balls bowled here by Sanjay Krishnamurthy. Some good work on his part. Next delivery, driven down the ground again, and they're just scoring in singles. And that's exactly what you'll accept at this stage of your innings. Down to the last 27 balls, and with 8, make that 26 balls in hand, or 26 balls left. This pair is going to be going after the shots. Swept around the corner, half-hearted appeal, no real energy in the appeal. But importantly, it's a dot ball. Andres House looking to sweep that one toward backward square leg. There's a fielder in the deep at backward square leg, and fine leg is inside the circle. So there is some room out there to score runs, but not able to get contact on that one. Should just be a single down to deep cow corner. So on balance, a really good over. 8 runs coming from it, but 4 of those 8 were leg or byes. So that is the end of over number 16. At the end of 16, the score is 146 for 2. $146 for 2 after 16. Last 24 deliveries, Ali Sheikh now bowling his last over, and a huge swipe being attempted by Andrea House, and yet another bye. So a couple of byes, in fact 4 byes the last over. And now starting out here over number 17 with a bye. Here's the next delivery. Wanted to come down, wanted to go big, but concedes a wide as Ali Sheikh trying to keep the ball out of the hitting zone of Asadullah Khan. Partnership now worth some 26 runs. This pair came together when the score was 122. And with 23 balls remaining, you don't get the sense that they would be holding back here. Outside the line of off, that is a good line, really good line. So it's trying to stay out of the hitting zone, as I mentioned. The obvious plan is to keep it just inside the wide line, outside off stump. In the air, catchable, and taken. Sanjay Krishnamurthy with a pretty straightforward catch. And it was struck well, but right to Sanjay Krishnamurthy. And he's not going to miss that one. He's a great fielder in the deep, and a pretty straightforward catch. He will take many more difficult catches than that one in his career, Sanjay Krishnamurthy. And so looking to accelerate was Asadullah Khan. Ends up with 14 from 16 with 2 fours. His dismissal means that the man now coming to the crease is going to be Oba Spinar. Oba Spinar, the tall left arm orthodox spinner and right-handed batter, coming to the crease with 21 balls remaining in the innings. So he generally tries to take a little bit of time to get settled, but there is not going to be that time to get settled now because with 21 balls remaining, the objective essentially is to score as many runs as you can in as quick a fashion as you can. So Oberspinar, right-handed batter as I mentioned, coming to the crease, joins Andreas Haus, who is 47 from 34 with 6 fours and the 6. And from here, with the last 21 balls coming up, it's going to be important that Ali Sheikh continues doing what he's done so far, keeping the ball out of the reach of the hitters. Now, it's a little bit more difficult to keep the ball out of the hitting zone of Oberspinar because he is tremendous reach. Very tall, about 6'4", I would imagine, 6'5", somewhere in that range. And so his reach is such that if the ball is not all the way inside that wide line where Ali Sheikh has been bowling it, then he can find power. This one is straighter, played into the deep, should just be a single. And getting off the mark is Oberspinar. So 1 ball remaining now in over number 17. This is really a good over being bowled by Ali Sheikh, his last. And here is now to Andreas Haus. Played away on the offside. They may come back for a second. In fact, they get there pretty easily. And that's a good over. Excellent over from Ali Sheikh. His last over only goes for 5 runs, and he takes a wicket in that last over. It is his most economical of the overs that he's bowled. At the end of over number 17, the score is 151 for 3. Sanjay Krishnamurthy in to bowl his 3rd over. 2 overs so far, 12 runs. So going exactly at a run a ball. And you'll take a run a ball from your orthodox left arm spinner in this situation because these batters have a good platform and they can launch on from here. But Sanjay Krishnamurthy looking to keep things quiet. Played into the deep. That is a single down to deep square leg. So Oberspinar faced 3 deliveries so far. That is the 2nd run that you've just seen him score. And you will see Andreas Haus, who is now 1 run away from his 50. You get the sense that he will be looking to accelerate from this point on. Big stroke down the ground and over the top for 50. Andreas Haus with that strike down the ground for 6 gets to 50. He's now 55 from 36 balls faced, 6 fours and 2 sixes. And as I mentioned, I suspect that he will be accelerating from here. The scoring rate is now up above 9.1. And you're down to the last 16 balls of the innings. So absolutely nothing for Andreas Haus to hold back on. And from here, in the last 18 balls, if they get to the point where they're scoring, let's say 8 runs and over from here, gets them to 179, but they'll be looking more in the range, I would think, of about 10 and over. 10 and over gets them to 185. 12 and over gets them to 190. Just a bit of a delay while that ball is lost. Maybe in the meantime, we'll look at the batting card, and you see that gives us some sense of what the batters have done so far. Norman Anwar, top of the lineup, 68 from 40. Smith Patel, 7 from 9. Andreas Haus still there, causing much damage, 55 from 36, 6 fours and 2 sixes. Astadola Khan's dismissed, 14 from 16, and Oberspinar now just joining the party, 2 from 3. Okay, here we go, back to live action. Hammered into the deep, but Ali Sheikh is out there. Oh, a couple of weird bounces, but Ali Sheikh does well enough to keep the ball in front of him. So that is Now Obaspinar looking to cause more damage than he's done so far. 2 runs against his name. And here's Krishnamurthy. Stroke down the ground, should just be a single. So all in all, 9 runs from over number 18 with 2 to come. If you can get out of this over having only conceded around 12, that's what you'll want from Krishnamurthy. This is Ali Sheikh into the deep. Not going to run on him. You've seen him play up close for the last couple of seasons. Is Andreas House, so he knows what his Dallas teammate is capable of. So doing his best to just keep that damage to a single. Here's the last ball of over number 18. Back to the bowler. Almost got a hand to that. It would have been a really difficult catch. But does well enough, Krishnamurthy, to pull things back towards the back end. Closing out the over with 4 singles. 11 coming from over number 18. The score is 162 for 3. Down to the last 12 balls. Imran Khan is coming on to bowl his last over. It's 3 figures so far, or it's 3 overs so far. 1 for 13. So brilliant bowling from the left arm pacer. Overall run rate is exactly 9. And his economy rate is 4.3. So he's bowling at half the economy rate as the combined economy rate for his teammates. So here we go. Bowling his last over. In the air, down the ground, that should be caught. What a brilliant catch by Sanjay Krishnamurthy. It was a full toss, not connected cleanly by Obaspinar, but Sanjay Krishnamurthy still had work to do, running around to his right from long off and doing excellently. The young left arm spinner, again, a live wire in the field and doing well enough here, catching this one probably a yard or so inside the ropes between long on and long off. So a brilliant, brilliant piece of work in the deep. So wicket number 4 goes down, and it is the dismissal of Obaspinar that now brings a new batter to the crease. This is going to be Nush Kenjige, left arm orthodox spinner, but similar to Obaspinar in the sense, left arm orthodox spinner and a right-handed batter, and somebody who's known more for his bowling, but is actually a pretty decent hitter. In fact, at this stage of the innings, can be very, very dangerous, can score very quickly. Very compact build by Nush Kenjige, but he can hit the ball a mile. And again, from this direction, he's hitting with the wind. So let's see exactly what he's able to do with these last 11 balls. Worked around the corner, at least 1 here, and might come back for 2. No, they immediately conceded that they'd only get 1 run. That's interesting. Thought that the opportunity might be there for them to get a 2nd run, but choosing not to attempt it. Now, part of the reason why you would not have attempted that 2nd run is because the man at the other end, who's now on strike, has 57 runs against his name. Imran Khan pulling out of his run up here. Andreas House, 57 from 38, 6 4s, 2 6s. And at any stage of the innings, he's a dangerous batter, but particularly if you only have another 10 balls to go. Oh, look for the big drive. Wanted to go straight down the ground, Andreas House, but a precious dot ball. This one sneaking under the bat. That line that is being bowled by these left-arm fast bowler, by this left-arm fast bowler, and generally by the bowlers from this end, have been well out of range of the right-handed hitters. Here's the next delivery. in the gap. This might be a boundary, and it does get to the boundary. Good strike. Andreas House spotting that gap between long on and mid wicket. Nobody in the deep at cow corner, and so he helps himself to 4 runs. He's now into the 60s, and now down to the last 8. 167 runs are on the board. What is he going to get from here? Andreas House, that is his 7th boundary that you just saw, to go along with 2 4s, make that 2 6s. And here's the last 2 deliveries in over number 19. Down the ground, may want 2 here. Coming back for the second, Ali Sheikh does the work to pick it up, but cannot prevent that second run. Nush Kenjige with a good aggressive running, putting the pressure on the bowlers and eventually getting that second run. So 7 from the over already with 1 ball to go. Last 7 deliveries coming up in the innings, and a good score already on the board, 169. Earlier I'd suggested 180 would be about what I would think that they would end up at. They still are on target for such a score. Here's the next delivery. Last of over number 10 or 19, driven away square. Should just be a single. Andreas House will continue or will keep strike. And that is the end of over number 19. 8 runs coming from that over. 170 for 4 is your score. Closing out the innings with more left arm spin. It's going to be Sanjay Krishnamurthy, who appears to have had the role of, as they say in baseball, closer. Bowling overs 14, 16, 18, and now 20. And bowling to Andreas House. This will not be easy. Full toss over the top of extra cover for 4. So not the best of starts here for Krishnamurthy. Andreas House will cash in on anything that is loose. And this is a loopy full toss outside the line of off. So 6 runs away from the magical 180 target. And the Stars will be or will feel relatively comfortable with where they are, you would think. Next delivery. Swept away for 4 more. So now things are getting out of control. Last 4 deliveries coming up. Andreas House is now into the 70s. 72 from 44 with 9 4s and 2 6s. That run rate up to 9.21. And you're right at the cusp of having that 180 score that we talked about earlier. And Sanjay Krishnamurthy, the first one was too full. Next one was too straight. Let's see exactly how he adjusts here. Whipping this away for 6. Andreas House is not going to be somebody who is easy to bowl at in these circumstances, and he's absolutely making mincemeat of this attack. 3 deliveries into over number 20. Already 14 runs have come from the over. So, bit of a roll of the dice by the captain Ali Sheikh. Maybe you could have considered Ujwal Vinakota, who still has an over left. Harish Kakani, who still has an over left, but he chose to go with the left arm spin. And so far it has not paid off. Last 3 deliveries coming up now in innings. And Andreas House is a man on a mission. Back to the bowler. And they'll get a single. They may want 2 here. No. So it does mean that Nush Kenjige will now be on strike for the last 2 balls of over number 20. Already 185 runs on the board. What can Nush Kenjige manufacture from these last 2 deliveries? Here's the penultimate ball of the innings. Tries a reverse sweep. That didn't go anywhere near where he was looking to play it, and ends up with a precious dot ball. That really helps under the circumstances. And so that leaves us in the position where just one ball is now remaining. Already an expensive over. 15 runs have come from it. But Krishnamurthy looking to limit the damage. Here is that last delivery. Tries to sweep it around the corner, and he is given. So bang on target. Krishnamurthy coming back from his perspective in style. Conceded 15, make that 14 from the first three with 2 4s and a 6. But bowls a dot ball to close things out here in over number 20. 3 runs or 3 last balls, only concede a single. So a good closeout to the over from Krishnamurthy. His final figures, in fact, we'll look at the bowling figures in just a minute. But first, the batting side. Here we see what the batters did. Good start with the bats. Naman Anwar 68, Smith Patel 7. Andreas House top scoring with 79, not out from 46, 9 4s and 3 6s. And Asadullah Khan 4. Obaspinar make that 14 for Asadullah Khan. Obaspinar with 4. And Nush Genjige only faced 3 deliveries, scored 1 run. And so for the bowlers, boy, it got knocked around just a little bit. Imran Khan, 4 overs, 2 for 21. So for me, the pick of the bowlers was Imran Khan. Harish Kakane, 3 overs, none for 32, so he was expensive. As was Ujwal Vinakota, 3 overs, 1 for 29. You'll take the wicket though. Ali Sheikh, 4 overs, 1 for 30. Mohamed Mohsin, only 2 overs, none for 25. And Sanjay Krishnamurthy, 1 for 38 from his 4 overs. Good comeback in his last over here. So that is the end of the innings. 15 coming from the last over, 47 coming from the last 5, and it does mean that in order to win, the Austin Aces will need to overhaul a total of 186. That's where we are. Coming back here to the Prairie View Cricket Complex shortly. We'll be right back. And a good couple of deliveries to start to Mohamed Mohsin. Tries a reverse sweep, picks out backward square, straight or backward point rather, straight to Nush Kenjige. So 3 straight dots to start over number 1. Of course, anytime you're chasing a big total, these singles essentially create that pressure, or those dot balls rather create pressure. Mohsin forcing it off the back foot. Oh, quick single taken. And in fact, they almost could have had an overthrow, but choosing not to. So off the mark is Mohamed Mohsin. Still Welcome back to the Prairie View Cricket Complex. Really steep mountain to climb for the Austin Aces. You saw that 6 struck down the ground just now by the captain, Ali Sheikh. He's now up to 36 from 27 balls with 3 fours and that 1-6. Justin Dill into his third over. Make that Calvin Savage, my apologies. Oh, looking to cut this away. Didn't get the contact that he was looking for. Long way to go here for the Austin Aces. 71 runs needed in the next 20 balls. A steep ask under any circumstances, essentially almost needing to hit a boundary of 4 off of every ball the rest of the way. So this may just be academic at this stage. Calvin Savage into his third over. 2 balls remaining. Played down to long on. This is one of the better fielders who patrol the boundary. Obaspinar. 12 from the over already with 1 ball remaining here in over number 17. So once again, it may be at the stage where this is academic. But it's still incumbent on you as a cricketer to make a good account of yourself. This is Inush Katina Pudi who's on strike. Scoop shot running away down the hill right over the keeper's head. Get at least a couple. There's that second run, and that's all they'll get. But innovation, maybe you needed plenty more of that several overs ago from the batters up top. Because the Austin Aces, even after those 2 runs, still need another 68 from the last 18 balls. So Obaspinar is on to bowl his last over. Bowled really well so far. Go over his figures in just a minute. Ali Sheikh looking to drag this one from outside off. Misses the pull sweep. Obaspinar really bowling well. Again, opened the bowling. Bowled inside the power play. The first over went for 1. His second over, which was the 10th over, also went for 1. And then looking to finish out strongly here. 1 for 7 are his figures so far. With that single down the ground, make that 1 for 8. And so you're down to the last 16 balls. So you need at this stage nothing but 4s and 6s. You're needing, if you strike a 4 off of every ball the rest of the way, you still lose this match. And so big hitting is what's called for here. More realistically, I think you just want to bat properly and not get bowled out to not hurt yourself too much from a net run rate perspective. Reverse sweep, thinking about it as the umpire, and ends up not giving it. Umpire McVeigh having a long look, and I think indicating there to Obaspinar that that one might have just been missing the leg stump. Tried the reverse sweep, so essentially it struck in line with what, when he took his stance, would have been the leg stump. So that is the one that the umpire would use to make his decision. Tries to go big, doesn't get a clean strike on it. We'll get a couple. Good work in the deep. That is Ali Bangash, a sliding stop out there on the boundary. That is good work to make sure that that ball doesn't go over the rope, but Ali Sheikh needing a whole lot more of those, and it may not make a difference at this stage. Obaspinar again, 2 balls remaining here. Stepping across and working this one to find leg. That's a good stop. He may just have saved 3 runs there. And so 1 ball remaining in over number 18, 13 balls remaining in the innings. And at this stage, it may just not even make sense to compare and talk about the required rate anymore because it's now approaching 30. So, swipe and a miss, appeal for a stumping, and did he give him? I think he may have just given him. Yes, he did. So Obaspinar strikes with the last ball of his spell. Left arm orthodox, that ball turns across the right-handed Inoshka Tinapudi, and he misses the attempted sweep, tumbles forward, and quick work by Smith Patel behind the stumps finds him out of his ground. So that is wicket number 7. And Austin Athletics, once again, staring down the barrel of a pretty major defeat here. 123 runs on the board for them, 7 wickets taken. And in the last 3 overs, make that the last 2 overs. The only real suspense in this match is going to be whether or not they are bowled out, because effectively the match as a contest is over. Justin Dill coming back into bowl number 19. His figures so far have been relatively decent. Justin Dill, 2 overs, 1 for 24, so a little bit more expensive than he'd like, but at this stage, Ali Sheikh on strike, needing 9 for his 50. That may be the only mystique left in this game. Going down the leg side, that just may have come off of the body of Ali Sheikh, wanting to make sure that he got some bat on that going down the leg side. In theory, it would have been a ball that he could have scored off of, but didn't make any contact with it. Austin Aces, once again, staring down the barrel of what really is going to be a pretty heavy defeat. Again, this is a very short tournament, so it's going to be hard to recover from that type of a loss. This one going down the leg side, and this one does in fact evade everything. Signal wide by umpire Jay Memon. Mentioned that this is a short tournament. Tournament is going to take place today, tomorrow, and Saturday. In theory, all of the matches will be completed inside those days, with there being a reserve day for Sunday. But with heavy rain in the forecast for Sunday, don't know how helpful that will be. Huge hit for 6, Ali Sheikh. And this, unfortunately, well, really fortunately, just missed taking out a windshield. That was a straight hit down the ground, straight as an arrow. Ali Sheikh absolutely mauls this one. That's a brilliant strike. And once again, I mentioned the only suspense might be whether or not Ali Sheikh gets to 50. Well, he just may do that here. Now up to 47 from 35 balls faced, with 3 4s and 2 6s, the second of which has cleared the entire stadium and landed in the parking lot. That is a huge strike by Ali Sheikh. So moral victory for him. He's not going to be able to get his team over the line, I don't think, but nothing wrong with throwing the bat and seeing what happens. A bit of a delay while we wait for the ball to come back in, but boy, that was a great strike. Straight down the ground, straight as an arrow. That may have just gone over the top of the side screen. Truly massive strike by Ali Sheikh. And in the meantime, while we wait for the ball to be retrieved, we may just look at the scoring card. back in the first innings, and we'll get back to the second innings in just a second. As Justin Dill continues. Short delivery in the air. It falls short of that man at short, fine leg. Sheik wanting to take on Justin Dill with that short delivery. Just a single though. And so now that brings to the earlier my apologies. I thought Inosh Katinapudi was given out by umpire Jay Mimam, but apparently he was not. So it was just, I'll take that back. So Inosh is still at the wicket. Still 6 down. Tries to scoop it around the corner. Half-hearted appeal by one man. Loud appeal by the bowler, but the bowler will always think that his appeal should be upheld. And no signal from umpire Jay Memon. So apparently there was some bat involved in that. 2 balls remaining here in over number 19. 8 balls remaining in the innings. Once again, Austin Aces staring down the barrel of a pretty comprehensive defeat. But the question to be asked is, can Ali Sheikh get the remaining 2 runs that he needs to get to his 50? Justin Dill, of course, wanting to prevent that. Here he is. Hammered away for 6, and that is his 50. What a strike. The first time this lands is out of the park. Once again, another huge hit by Ali Sheikh. And so the captain gets to his 50. Brilliant strike. Doesn't make a big difference in the context of this game, but personal achievements are always something that you're going to want to celebrate. So Ali Sheikh with that strike gets to 50 from 37 balls faced. Took a while to get going, but once he got going, he performed in the way that only he can. 3 4s and 3 6s to go along with that as part of that 50. And now the last ball of over number 19, he'll probably try to repeat the dosage again, you would think. Oh, went big, missed out. Swipe and a miss to close things out in over number 19. Last 6 coming up, 138 for 6. So the last over will be bowled by Inosh Kenjige. Bowling to Inosh Katinapudi. Left arm around the wicket. Tossed up in the deep. Couple of bounces. That is Ali Bangash on the boundary. Anticlimactic end to this match because essentially, absent extras, only one team can win it from here. Down to the last 5 balls. Ali Sheikh has 54 against his name. He'll be happy with that. Inosh Katinapudi, 9. Make that 10 from 9 with 1-4. Left arm around the wicket to Ali Sheikh. Bowls it wide, and they may be able to steal a run here. And in fact, Ali Sheikh does not want to give up the strike. They'll get a wide. The ball was outside the guideline and signaled as wide by umpire McVin. But Ali Sheikh wants to remain on strike. They could have easily stolen another run there, but he will have none of it. I think he wants some more of Inosh Kenjige. Outside the line of off stump again, yet another wide. So you see what what Inosh Kenjige is trying to do to Ali Sheikh, trying to keep it very wide, keep it out of his hitting zone. And that's why. Because he absolutely mauls this one, and the first time it lands is over the ropes at mid-wicket for yet another 6. Ali Sheikh now moving into the 60s. 60 from 40 with 3 4s and 4 6s. Now down to the last 4 deliveries of this innings. Another 39 runs needed. So again, should be pretty much academic at this stage, but Ali Sheikh essentially playing or batting for pride at this stage. And it's always good to know that even if your team is going to lose, you can show that you can score off of bowlers like Nush Kenjige, and that's a big hit that essentially proves that point. So here is the next delivery. 4 balls remaining in this innings, in this match. Tries a reverse sweep. Not much of an appeal. Not sure what the appeal was for also. That was well outside from around the wicket, passing outside the off stump. So not sure exactly what the appeal was. Umpires conferring with themselves. I believe it's 3 balls remaining. That's what they're trying to determine. Next delivery. There he goes again. That's going to be 6 more. So Ali Sheikh figured he'd have a little bit of fun the rest of the way. Yet another 6 over mid-wicket. Moves up to 66 from 42 balls faced. 3 4s and 5 6s. And the final margin of victory will actually be or show a score that's closer than the actual game was, because they are now within 33 runs of victory. If Ali Sheikh keeps doing this, he might draw the final margin to about 20 runs, but there's no question that only one team has dominated this game. Last 2 balls coming up. Oh, could not get underneath this one, Ali Sheikh. He wanted to go downtown. Thick under edge. That will be, I would suspect, the last ball that he faces in this innings, because barring any extras, this next delivery is going to be the last ball of the match. 152 runs on the board by my count, and I would suspect, my apologies, 153. Oh, here's the last ball coming up. Goes past the outside edge. Anticlimactic end to this match. Austin Aces go down in a heap. The Houston Stars dominate almost from beginning to end, and a pretty straightforward victory in the end for them. So that takes us to where we can see the batting side and how they did. We see on the scorecard, Mohamed Mohsin opened the batting, 36 from 27. Yash Mahajan didn't get going really. And then Shashank Vitaluru, 17 from 21. Ali Sheikh, the 4th name on your list right there, 67 runs, so really good innings from him. Did not have much help the rest of the way. Single-digit scores with the exception of Inosh Katinapudi. And all in all, pretty comprehensive victory. Let's see how well the bowlers did. For me, the pick of the bowlers is probably Obaspinar. 4 overs, 1 for 12. Excellent bowling. Opening the bowling. Orthodox left-arm spinner bowling in the power play. Really did well. Justin Dill was a little expensive. Calvin Savage bowled well. Really, all of the bowlers bowled well. A couple were more expensive than they would have preferred. But that does mean that is the end of the match. And so, to close things out here in the Prairie View Cricket Complex, the opening match of the Houston Premier League 2024. Austin Aces go down to a dominant performance from the Stars. And so signing off for the moment from Prairie View. Do stay with us for the remainder of the day from right here at Prairie View. There will be action today, there will be action tomorrow, and then the final day's play on Saturday. So for now, this is Brian Walters signing off. Good night and good luck.